Millions of Texans continue to suffer in freezing temperatures without power in what officials are calling a failure of the state's power infrastructure. It's a failure by Texas political leadership, too. Enter Senator Ted Cruz, who's facing a scandal involving his terribly timed decision to flit off to a resort on the Caribbean Sea. The same Ted Cruz who voted to overturn election results as a member of the Sedition Caucus, and who supported building a wall to keep people who look like him out. People who cross the border because they want safety and a better life for their families. And yet he chose to cross the border into Mexico, abandoning his state in a time of crisis, he says, for his family. Irony! Look, this man isn't exactly the most liked member of Congress, or possibly even by his supposed friends, given that someone from his wife's vacation group seems to have the New York Times on speed dial to leak their personal texts. But that nasty reputation he has, oh, there's a reason for that. His off-the-charts hypocrisy.
President Obama, and for that matter, Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party, they're so out of touch with where the American people are right now. He goes and plays golf hundreds of times with his buddies. He is not focused on the people who are hurting, who are paying the cost.
We got a job to do, and we got a short window of time, and so we ought to stop taking recesses, stop taking time off, and just keep going until we get it done.
Apparently playing a game of pool is a higher priority for this president than it would be to go and see the humanitarian crisis he's created.
Now, this story doesn't end with Flying Ted, because now his fellow Republicans are using silly putty logic to defend him, even after Cruz himself admitted he had originally planned on staying in Cancun until Saturday. Matt Gas Mask Gates tweeted, Ted Cruz should not have apologized. Dinesh D'Souza really reaching here, tweeting, if Ted Cruz is in Cancun, that means he's not using up valuable resources of energy, food, and water that can now be used by someone else. This is probably the best thing he could do for the state right now. And then, of course, Sean Hannity making the case that working remotely is still work, even if your remote workplace is Senor Frogs.
You made the right call coming back. You also can be a father. There's also something called technology. We also know what teleworking is. And I think there's a lot of sanctimony and politics being played in this attack.
But the best, and by that I mean the worst, comes from America's least favorite fail son, Donald Trump Jr., who tweeted, the hypocrisy of those trying to cancel Ted Cruz, who have been totally silent on their Democrat governor's incompetence, is telling. Yes, little Donnie. First off, your dad will never love you. And second, we are being very quiet about the Democratic governor of Texas. And, you know, that's because there is no Democratic governor of Texas. The Texas governor is a Republican, man. But you and your party are so programmed to place the blame on Democrats that you're spitting out drivel on a swivel rather than condemning the daughter blamer who fled to sunny Mexico as millions of his constituents froze. Also, don't you have chores that you should be doing? And that is why today, the Republicans, who clearly will defend, well, anything that fellow Republicans do, from insurrection to abandonment, are the absolute worst.